What about when the admission happens? When Manu Sharma admits and that is not viable, the admission.
In this case, surprisingly again, in this case, the entire video recording of Manu Sharma, to which I was there, in fact, he was talking to me. Although at the level of Joint Commissioner of Police, these things don't happen, but I'm in the habit of investigating. I used to investigate cases myself. I used to talk to people myself. So I did the same with Manu also. In one of our places.
What was that interaction like? Was he consumed with guilt, or was it matter of fact कि मार दिया?
I don't think that he was so much guilt conscious or he had any serious remorse about whatever happened. ये काफ़ी ठीक ठाक था और इसने पूरी कहानी बहुत ठीक से बताई. The entire story he narrated very truthfully. Once he was caught and once he was in our custody, we have the system of recording. That video recording was there, and let me inform you that that record was kept on the file, on the police, on the trial, during the course of trial, because the case became so controversial.
तो वो क्या कह रहा था? क्यों मारा उसने?
He said something very funny. He said it. He said कि हाँ ये सही है कि भाई he was drunk and he was under influence of liquor, and when he demanded, then Jessica was not giving. He had the weapon in his pocket, .22, that weapon he had. And then he said कि he saw something, her hair falling here, and he thought कि probably I'll disturb his hair or something, very odd kind of thing, and he shot her. And he shot her pointed on the head, you understand. So he was not shooting her on the head, he was shooting probably her hair or something, he was moving. That kind of, he wanted to say that his intention was not to kill. And he was very unhappy, and unhappy means he was very angry with the conduct of Jessica Lal, that point of time.
Arrogance.
And he admits that he was angry, he admits that he was unhappy, and arrogance. And that kind of background that he had, you understand, they are spoiled brats of the big people. And although he was rich and he was part of business, he was a director in the companies floated by his father. But then this is what he was. And the youngsters in that age, what they could do, how could they think, what is their psychology, it is some kind of reflection on that also.
Did he think he would get away with it when he went with Vikas Yadav and the others? Did they think कि बच जाएंगे, or they thought कि पकड़े ही जाएंगे?
He was scared though. His movement with a lot of people, he was very scared. But then they were quite confident. They were very confident that he will get away. He thought as much.
They almost did.
Yes, and they almost did. In the Sessions Court, getting a verdict of this type is most unusual in a case like this. They got a verdict, and without getting into minute details of what all I know, what all, let's say, my advocate, late Mr. S.K. Saxena, who was a veteran of CBI, he was a lawyer in this case, a brilliant lawyer for criminal courts. Now, we all know what happened. We all know what happened. What all happened behind the scene. At very, very high levels, this judgment was bought over.
Oh God.
The first judgment was bought over. One doesn't know how to, in what words, talk about it. That's a fact. The gentleman who was the Sessions judge, I have mentioned about it, he gave the verdict, very crisp verdict, acquitting all of them. And then, of course, he became a High Court judge soon after that.
What do you feel as a policeman at that time when you know कि ये guilty है और ये निकल गया? आपके साथ तो कई बार ये हुआ होगा ऐसे. But this case, when you know the entire scrutiny is on you and on the case, and you feel कि कोर्ट ने तो छुड़वा दिया, अब क्या होगा?
I never lost it out. Let me inform you. See what happened that I was transferred to Arunachal Pradesh. I was DG police there. And this case went into wrong hands, entirely wrong hands, you understand. The Commissioner of Police who took over used to be Joint Commissioner of Police, who is a big shot, became governor later. See, he was Joint Commissioner of Police Crime, I was Joint Commissioner of Police Southern Range. And we had major differences on many cases. Because I remained Joint Commissioner of Police Southern Range of Delhi for 4 years.
This is why I keep saying that our lives have crossed in many ways.
I know, correct.
I'm not going to say how, but anyway.
So somehow all the big cases, very big cases took place during the time I was Joint Commissioner of Police Southern Range. And not following the usual practice, the cases never went to crime branch. And I investigated and supervised those cases, Jaska Lal being one of them. Such cases could have gone to CBI, could have gone to crime branch. It was not transferred to crime branch. So we did this case. So the entire paraphernalia of what's happening, we knew. We were aware that, and as you know that because of media interest and lot of inquiry being by media, they also gave us input, you understand. And I always acknowledge that media at times is far ahead of police.
But they brought that, I mean, because the media put so much scrutiny और फिर वो picture भी निकल आई and things like that, मतलब it opened up again. The case opened again. You were in Arunachal when the case was reopened?
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I forgot that part. See what happened when acquittal took place, and somehow the gentleman who was police commissioner and somebody who was handling the case at that time, appeal part of it, they gave very odd statements in the media. They started blaming the investigating officers, not me. They started blaming the investigating officers, not appreciating the point that investigating officers had done the best possible job. They collected correct evidence. They identified the entire situation very methodically. They identified correct witnesses. The witnesses turning hostile in the court is not something the police can control, you understand.
Okay.
But they blamed the investigating officer. It happened. And there was a big situation created. Fortunately, Mr. Gopal Subramaniam, who happened to be ASG that time, I had known Gopal Subramaniam personally also.
Okay.
Somehow I knew him. And then I met him at the last moment and I explained to him the case. When I explained to him the case, Gopal said that, well, these guys, they are crooks. They are not telling me what the case is all about. You are the one who is telling the case all about, and let me inform you, I was not connected to case. I was DG Police of Arunachal Pradesh. I had been taking leave to come to Delhi. I guided the last part of trial and supported Gopal Subramaniam others along with the team, the same team, which had been actually taken away from the case. And unfortunately, Jessica's sister, Sabrina,
she made a statement.
Very foolish statements, not foolish I would say, probably it was loaded statement, that when I told her that the investigating officers and the evidence is in plenty, the case will succeed. I was very sure that the case will succeed. And she went and met the police commissioner and gave some wrong statement and things like that. So created a doubt about the case. Anyway, touch wood, finally things turned in our favor. And the trial, the High Court appreciated the evidence and the case ultimately was in our favor and we got the verdict we wanted. Thanks to Gopal Subramaniam and the team.
Namaste, Jai Hind. You're watching ANI podcast with Smita Prakash.
अगर हम उसको मस्जिद कहेंगे तो फिर विवाद होगा.
The issue is टूटा है क्या भारत?
400 पार का मतलब ये है कि संविधान खतरे में है.
क्या हम लोग ये निर्देश देते हैं कि फला को गिरफ्तार करके जेल डाल दो?
वही तो कह रहे हैं सब.
ये बेबुनियाद निराधार आरोप.
सच्चा सुनना चाहो देखो स्मिता प्रकाश ANI. It does not lie.